Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Surviving UX podcast. If you feel like summer is just a fantasy where other people are out there having fun and all you are seeing these days is your colleagues' out of office statuses, then this podcast is for you. I am Meg Kramer, and with me is my co host, Jessamyn Edwards. Jessamyn, how are you doing? How
Hey
is your
Meg,
summer, quote
I'm
unquote?
wiping away the tears. This summer, I did have a meltdown today. I had a summer meltdown. An anti, I feel like summer is an anti-pattern. That's what I feel like because I should not be behind this computer. I should not be in this home office. I should be out on the beach right now doing something fun, getting a sunburn, you know. I don't know, having an overpriced slushy somewhere. I wish I was somewhere else, anywhere else, but I am just in the middle of yet another project, working and slogging away and just fantasizing really, really hardcore about traveling. Any travel article I can get my hands on, hotel reviews,
Mhm.
travel websites. I have no business being on any of them, but I'm just soaking them up. How about you? How are you doing?
It is true, right? Like if the day is gray or like the day when the days are short and darker, it is somehow easier to work, right?
Mm, yes. Knowing that it's nice outside and other people are having fun somewhere. I'm just
Hmm.
glad I'm not on social media anymore because if I were and I was seeing like everybody's Instagram
Hmm.
of their cool European vacations or whatever, oh, I would be done.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of those on social media as
No,
well.
thank you.
And of
Yeah.
course, I'm not traveling either. I just recently started the next phase of my cancer treatment, and so I have to be here every single day of every weekday. I have to drive there every single day. And so for a person who's been remote, now I have basically a commute every day. And on top of that, I swear they timed road construction in my town at the exact time that I had to start this commute. So it's just, it kind of feels like I'm
It's Christmas in July. That's
working.
why.
Yeah, it feels like I'm working when again it's sunny outside and I'm in a deep dark room at
Mm.
a cancer center.
Oh,
So
fun. That
super
sounds like a
fun.
good time.
Yeah. So anyway, that's I've been trying to squeeze in summer before that all got
Hmm.
started and the like 2 weeks I had before that all got
You
started.
know,
So
this is a lesson for me, right? I had a girlfriend I was chatting with this week who was talking about she has to go get infusions, vitamin infusions,
mm-hmm,
and she has to go to a cancer center to get them.
mm-hmm,
And so she's like, you sit in the room with all the other cancer patients in a recliner with your IV and your blanket, and you get your infusion, and everyone's just sitting there together. I mean, when you're in a room like that, has that been your experience? Like you're in a
yep.
room with other people getting those infusions? Like, what's the vibe? Are people
Well,
upbeat? Are people melancholy? Is it
dude,
up?
now, so first of all, I am at like a little boutique place with
Oh my
beautiful
gosh, like a
views and
spa?
so, I mean, it's as spa as you can get for a cancer center. Um,
Okay.
but the infusion suite's on the third floor. You can often get a window seat. Um, and like everybody, yeah, I mean, it's not the most upbeat place, but they try really hard.
Yeah.
Now the treatment that I have is by myself in a room in a dark like practically basement. And
Mm,
so I honestly came home this week and was like, I think just for the vibes, like the
yeah.
infusion suite was better.
Yeah.
Like, which
Absolutely.
is like insane, I think. But
It's not insane. It makes a huge difference. Your environment is everything, you know? It really
yeah.
is. It really is. Gosh. Get out of that basement. I used to work in a basement for a year when I worked at a
What?
call center. After college, my first job was at a call center and it was
Oh
located in
my
this office
God.
park and somebody dreamed up a basement office. So it was cubicles, giant.
Hmm.
And actually, I had a wonderful cube because that was back in the day. These are old school cubes with
Hmm.
like 7 foot high walls.
Hmm.
And that's like a dream. Like that's like a fantasy. I would kill for a 7 foot high cube wall now. Like I just went into the office last or 2 weeks ago and they just have like these foam panels or like
Mm-hmm.
felt panels between the desks that are
Mm-hmm.
like 2 feet high. And I'm like, gosh, that's new because when I worked in the office full time, there was nothing in between the desks. You
Mm-hmm.
could just elbow the guy next to you and be like, yo, want to go get some lunch? But there was zero privacy. So it was old school. It was a basement. It was like there was time deprivation. It was sensory deprivation down there. No windows. So it could
Mm-hmm.
be any time of day. It was all fluorescent lighting. You know what? The time sure went by down there. It was like, a casino, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
No natural light. But I do miss those cubicle walls. Anyway, um, we do have a very special guest for our listeners today, a special treat. She's a designer and a researcher at Siemens Digital Industries, where she's been for a few years. And she has worked at Mentor Graphics, Matrix Tools, Werner von Braun Advanced Research Hall, and University of Huntsville, Alabama. She has a background in graphic design, and she holds certifications from Interaction Design Foundation, Luma Institute, and Nielsen Norman. Welcome to the podcast, Jo Carroll.
Thank you, Jessamyn.
Hey,
Hey.
thank you for joining us, Jo.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Do you ever go by Giovanni or do you just stick to Jo?
Um, I like Joe.
Yeah,
I usually go by that. It's short, sweet,
it's
simple.
super cute. Super cute.
Thank you.
Have you ever had, I've had friends with like very short names who sometimes they'll get validation errors on websites when they're filling out forms because they're like, you must have at least 3 characters in your name. Have you ever had that happen to you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's good to
Usually when
hear.
I fill out forms, I'll just put, my legal name, but
The full thing. Okay,
yeah.
very good. Very good. Well, Jo and I met at the UXPA conference in Austin, Texas in June. We connected there and we just thought this would be a cool chance to have her on the pod. And Jo, how's your summer going?
I was really feeling what you guys were talking about. Because I actually, not too long ago, my husband and his family, they went on a trip to a lot of Midwestern states, basically like a dream trip for me.
Whoa.
But yeah, it was awesome. They drove from Denver, Colorado to Wyoming. Then they
Mm,
drove up and checked out some geysers, at not Old Faithful, but Yellowstone.
yeah.
Um, and then they just traveled around that whole area, and then came back and they took a lot of epic photos.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh.
I grabbed my baby and my 2 dogs, and we went on our own adventure.
Wait, how come you weren't on this trip?
'Cause we have Ari, our 5-month-old, and she couldn't do all the camping and stuff across a span of 10
Okay.
days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would have
Oh,
just been too much.
So did you do
yes.
champion parenting solo?
I did for
Oh
the
my
first
Wow.
time.
goodness. Oh,
Wow.
wow. That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
Plus dogs. That's a lot.
yeah. Yeah, I have a Great Pyrenees and a Corgi.
That's no joke. That's a big dog. My mom had one of those, and that's like a
Yeah.
130-pound dog.
Yeah, he is a big dog. Very big dog.
That's a lot of dog with a baby. How
I
do you
know.
manage that?
Well, on this trip, it took a lot of stamina, making sure that I was hydrated, and snacks.
Yeah.
So as long as I was good, everybody was good.
Oh my gosh. And where did you drive your baby?
So we took a trip to Asheville, North Carolina, because I'd never been and I wanted to check out the Biltmore,
Oh
and
my
check
gosh,
out.
you went there?
Yeah, yeah. And it was awesome.
I
I
have
had
always
no
wanted to go
idea
there
how it
too.
worked
I've
though.
never been. Wait, what did you do with the dogs? They can't let
Oh,
them in there.
no, no, they were at the Airbnb most of the time. But we
Okay.
would, and it was kind of too hot for them to be outside anyway. So
Meg, have you been to Asheville or have you heard of this place? Do you know what she's talking about?
No,
All right,
I'm
Jo, why
not
don't you
as familiar.
please describe for our West Coast listeners who aren't aware of this location that all, like, I feel like all moms everywhere want to go there. That's like something my mom's always talked about. I don't know about you, Jo, but tell us more.
yeah, how do I describe it? So when I got there, I didn't expect it to be like it take me like 30 minutes from the entrance to get to the actual house. But I drove all the way through, and it was so magical and enchanting because this mansion that is so huge. I don't even know. I think it's 40 400 acres. I think that's right.
Whoa.
Of land. And so the mansion sits on top of it, but there's a bunch of other buildings around it, huge, very, very huge garden that's there. But essentially, I was looking at some of the history when I was there, but my baby was having fun yelling into
Oh
the
no.
room
Oh.
because there were reverberations, and she's like, wow, I've never heard this before. It was really funny. Everybody was
Oh
very
my gosh.
serious as they were reading the history, and there's just this baby yelling.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
screaming.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's kind of like, have you ever been to Hearst Castle,
Yeah.
Meg?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
So it's
it's
Yeah.
kind
like
of like
that.
that.
It's
Oh.
interesting. We have the Biltmore here, which is a name for a like a very fancy upscale hotel. So I will have
Okay.
to see what the connection is, because that's my more common association with it, is
Mm.
that luxury hotel in Santa Barbara.
Oh
So,
my
but
gosh.
maybe it's just supposed to be like in reference to that mansion
I
or
think
the
so.
family. Yeah, sounds like it. So I'll
Yeah,
have to
because
do
it
my
was
own
very posh.
research. Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Very
that's
cool.
cool. So you did have a getaway. You did have a summer. I mean, I have to say hats off to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did threaten today to take the baby and drive to Florida, but I wasn't like kind of serious. I was like, I got to get out of this house. But I asked myself truly, if I did take the baby and go somewhere, just the two of us, would I regret it? Or would I be
No.
like, I'm so glad I did this?
You guys are
You would love it.
amazing. I am going to go to San Diego in September, and that 4 hour drive with my 18-month-old,
Mm.
I am like bracing already for it. Like I
Oh,
don't,
oh.
I, I'm so impressed. I am so
Wait, what about
impressed by you
Amtrak?
two.
Why not Amtrak down to
Do you
San
think I should
Diego?
do that instead and just let him run back and forth? Like just
I
run the
have taken
aisles?
my baby on Amtrak like twice in the past month,
Mm-hmm.
and he isn't a runner that he's not there yet. He's still a crawler, but
Mm-hmm.
the room and you can, I mean, if you don't mind holding him and walking through train car, doors to get
Yeah.
to the snack car, then you can sit and have a snack. And the seats are so spacious. That's the only thing. Like, there's
Yeah.
no like, hey, he's crying in the back seat while I drive and try to focus through the screams.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's the thing I can't do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't.
yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
That's not a
Anyway,
bad idea, man.
Yeah.
You may
what's it
have
called? The surf
solved one
liner
of my
down there?
problems. Yeah,
Yeah.
surfliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all
Well,
right. Well, should we talk about work? No.
no. Um, yeah, I mean, Joe, you've been in the game for a couple years. I mean, would you consider yourself like a mid-level career person right now
You
or a
know,
senior?
so based off of just years alone, probably mid-level.
Hmm.
But all the experiences that I've had, I would say a lot of the senior level designers that I've worked with are doing the same things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's cool. And like, I guess, are you able, like, do you work with a lot of other designers and researchers, or are you sort of like a one-woman show?
so I used to be a one-woman show in before I worked at Siemens.
Hmm.
But now, yeah, I work with a lot of different designers. We do have a lead researcher on our team, and we have
Mhm.
someone else, and then myself as well. I'm not a lead researcher, but I do research and accessibility. Um, and then we have another person who's a UX designer interested in research. So
And
she's helping out.
can you tell me a little bit more about like what types of technology it is? Because my connect or my awareness of it is mostly like medical tools and things like that. Is that what you work on?
Yeah, so Siemens is huge, right? It's a
Yeah.
conglomerate.
And it's not US headquartered, right? Is it in Europe?
No,
Yeah. So
yeah,
tell
it's
me
in
about that.
Germany. Yeah, so it's based over in Germany. But here in the States, we have the digital industries, and so we help
Mm,
work on software.
okay.
So for example, some of our users might be like CAD designers. Um, we might have electrical engineers who are working on component designs. So they would need the specific software that our company produces to be able to do that kind of work.
Got it. And how is it working? Is it like, do you have to do things on like European Central Standard Time, or like is it really European like centric?
So for digital industries, it's very American,
Okay.
just because we do have a lot of American employees that are working here, but we do have to sometimes align our schedules with like the European time if there's product owners or managers that are based from like Munich, Germany.
Would you say there's any cultural differences in terms of learning to work with folks, that are in a different continent? Have you had any, I don't know, moments of painful learning or anything like that, working with your global team?
Yeah. Well, I've had some good moments and I've had some weird moments. There is this one time we actually had someone who was working in Poland. There's actually a lot of people that work in Poland, but someone I was interacting with, I asked them how they were doing before we got started on our call. And they said, well, do you really want to know how I'm doing, or do you want something superficial? Because here in Poland, we actually start talking about very personal things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, we can get as personal as you want to. Like, I'm here to have a great time. If you're having a good day, like, let's talk about it.
Oh,
So they liked that,
wow.
but yeah, like it made me think about, wow, yeah, as Americans, sometimes we can be very superficial to get to the meat of what we actually wanted to talk about.
Totally.
Yikes.
Instead of
We
just
talked about
bantering.
that last week too, or on last episode too, about like, do people really want to know about the crap?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah. I think I feel like people deserve privacy. I mean, I get the sharing, like I also like to share, but at the same time, when people share with me, sometimes I'm like, you didn't need to tell me that. I don't need to know
Yep.
that, whatever's going on, like that if you want to take a day off or you're going to be out of the office for the afternoon or away from the keyboard or whatever. I do not need to know the details. And I've learned to share. Like it is funny sometimes, and this I always have to say, it's always the engineers who do it. I'll get like these out of office notifications and it'll be like taking the day to do a personal errand. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about your personal errands. Or it'll be even more, it'll be like, dentist appointment, or I don't know, like I'm trying to think of some of the more egregious ones or more personal ones, but it's just like I do not care. I truly do not care why you're out of office. It does not matter to me. Do not put what you're doing. Like don't even include it, please. Just bleach it all away. I don't want to know.
I feel like I always err on the side of assuming that it's something like good or positive that they're out for. And then when people come back, I'm like, how was your time off? And I have to catch myself because of all people, I should know.
Yeah.
Like,
did you have
like
a good
time
vacation?
off, time off does not always mean good stuff,
Did you have an awesome medical leave?
Yeah. How was that? How was that baby coming out of you? Was that fun?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that reminds me. It's like some coworkers apparently, I've heard some stories where they're like, "Oh, enjoy your leave while you have your baby." And I'm like, I don't think there's a lot to enjoy.
Yeah.
Over at least, 8 weeks. Maybe we'll get somewhere good. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So funny.
Yeah.
What about gossip? Like, where are you in terms of, I feel like lately this has come up for me because we have had some hot goss in the office, and you know, we as a team will sort of reach out and like let each other know that something's going on. I think we got some things going on. And sometimes I think, you know what? Should I have shared that? I don't know if I should have. I'm not sure if this is serving me to like somebody will share some hot goss with me and then I'm like, "Hey, guess what? So and so, check this out." And then I think, maybe maybe I'm not doing this right. Like maybe I should have just kept that to myself. I don't know. What's your what's your attitude about office gossip,
Yeah.
with coworkers?
I think when I was younger, which I'm 27 now, but when I was younger, I
You're still young.
definitely, yeah, yeah, to some, and then to kids, they're like, "Hello, ma'am," and I'm like, "I'm not a ma'am
Aw.
yet, but or, thank
You
you."
absolutely are a man.
Oh, thank you. But but yeah, when I was younger, all about the drama, just hearing different stories about different people, and it got me in trouble, and so I learned my lesson.
Uh-oh.
And because when you're working with people, you really want them to trust you and feel like they can lean on you, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's not about personal things, but just
Mm-hmm.
work-related things. Because there's just some interpersonal skills that we all have to have in order to like maintain this work balance, I guess, like social work balance.
Yeah.
And so I think with my experience, it's like gossip can really break trust. It can hurt feelings.
Yeah.
It can just create some like chaos that it's just not necessary at work when you guys are you're just here to do the same thing, right? Like get money so you can go off and do the things you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like, leave the gossip for after work.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how
You
I
know
feel.
Meg, are
what
you
I
a gossip?
think is funny, or like I agree with, I agree with that like sentimentality, even though I'm older than you. Um, and but I feel like there was a time, or there are certain maybe generations that feel like work is supposed to be your everything. Like work is
Yeah.
supposed to be where you get like a lot of self satisfaction from, and it's not just to make money so that you can go do the things you really want to do in life, and that it should have these kind of elements of excitement or fun. And maybe that's where some of the gossip comes from, is like the people that want to gossip is like uh maybe it's because that is like more of everything for them, although maybe gossip
Well,
shouldn't be a big part of your
Yeah.
life. I don't
I
know.
mean, these are
What do you think,
tumultuous
Jessamyn?
times. You know what I mean? Like, these are tumultuous times. I think people are going through a lot in life,
Mhm.
and the market is crazy.
Mhm.
This is a tough job market. Companies are tightening their belts, and I think people want to know if something's up.
Oh,
So,
like that kind of stuff.
I mean,
Yeah, but like I don't like I think about this all the time, and like would I rather know or not know? And it's like
hmm,
you can't, there's so much you can't really do about
right.
things, like
Mhm.
if you knew, then you'd just be, if you knew about things like a layoff coming down the line or something like that, or somebody leaving or
Hmm.
somebody getting laid off, like you would completely consume yourself with ideas of how you could change things, and or at least I would. And I don't think that that is necessarily something that you're actually going to be able to change in reality, for either for yourself or like for other people or the company at large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
Well
I
said.
let me share
yeah, you
something. Like I did some gossiping this week, or maybe it was last week, and I chose to text my coworkers instead of using, our internal
mm-hmm,
thing, because I was
mm-hmm,
like, I'm
mm-hmm.
gonna name names, so I'm gonna get off of our internal channels, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna text these people. And one of my coworkers was like, no one has ever texted me from like this company. This is the very first time I've ever texted. Do you guys text your coworkers like on your phone?
Yeah, I have a handful of people, and like that is those are the people I would consider to be like my work friends.
Yeah.
Yes,
Same.
And I would probably gossip with them.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like I said, like at work, it's a different story, but outside of work, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
definitely gossip.
I think people like it. I don't know.
I clearly have been a little starved for it, because yesterday, this funny that we're talking about this, because just yesterday I was at the cancer center, and I got to be involved or like I got to be on the inside of some gossip that I had recently heard.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh.
Ooh, see? Okay. So I think there's a place for it. There's a place for it.
Yeah.
It's exciting, but yeah, I
Are
don't
you
know
in a
if it,
group
I don't know if
thread?
it,
Is that what happened? Like, are you in a group text?
oh no, someone just told me
Oh,
like
wow.
some information about
Okay.
certain like things, but it doesn't affect me. It only affects
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
people that work there. So I was kind of like
Yeah.
I was just having fun, like trying to entertain myself. But on it,
Right.
but I guess I would say the fun can't outweigh the like if it is detrimental to other people in some, in some way if the gossip ends up being.
Yeah. I only like lighthearted gossip.
Yeah.
If it gets a little too much, I would rather hear it from the person that's being spoken of or spoken about, if that makes sense. Because,
Well, then how do you vent, Joe? Like, where do you
oh, how
vent
do I vent?
safely? Yeah.
Mm,
Where do you put it? If you're mad at somebody at work or you're frustrated by something, where does it go?
so, it's definitely happened quite a few times where I've gotten frustrated with some coworkers. So what I typically do is I ask people how they feel about working with someone or that person that I'm having frustrations with. And sometimes it's a little validating because they will kind of talk about, oh, yeah, I've had issues with them. And I'll be like, okay, I'm not the only one. And then other times, some people will say, oh, I haven't had any issues. Here are all the good things. And it helps me kind of reset my mindset about that
Mhm,
person
mhm,
because I don't know everything that's going on in their lives. And I don't know why that day happened to be really difficult for them. And
Mm-hmm.
so I now have these cons and pros of this person. And yeah, so whatever reason I had for being kind of upset and wanting to vent, it typically goes away before uh, I can say or do anything toxic.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Fair.
I
What
feel
about
like,
you, Meg?
well, I think that's cool, and I kind of want to think about doing that the next time I'm grumpy with somebody at work. And I also wanted to know, like, uh, what irritates you, or what would you say, Joe, is something that you wish maybe those senior or those principal designers or like just the old guard, like what do you wish like they would do differently, or what annoys you about
Hmm.
them?
Hmm. I'll have to think about that one.
I love
Because
that
I
question.
want to learn. I want to learn
Yeah.
some more stuff about how I can be better.
Yeah. I guess so when I was learning about UX design, I really wanted to find people who are already in the industry and get their like thoughts around it, right? Kind of
Mm,
like what you guys were doing. I was searching for podcasts like this, and searching for people in my community. And what I found, and I still think this is true, is that there's a lot of withholding of information.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is it seems like it's a pretty competitive market. And so I've come across a lot of senior designers who don't want to give too many secrets away about how
Mm-hmm.
they do their work and their process. And I think, Jessamyn, you were the first person that I have seen give away your very like technical organizational skill
mm.
secrets. And I loved that so much. That's why I was like, I've got to go talk to her. This is really
Aw.
cool. Because no one, even though I would ask for that from these senior UX designers,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
they wouldn't, give up that
Yeah, people are
information.
secretive, actually. I was just talking to a coworker today whose work like blew my mind. And I was like, you gotta show and tell this stuff. We have like a team show and tell. And they were like, nah. And I was talking to an engineer like this week about, their super experience in accessibility. I was like, you gotta give a tech talk. He was like, nah. And I'm like, come on,
Mm,
everybody. Like, why? Like, you've developed this expertise. It's so amazing what you're doing. And there's just not a big motivation to share it out. I don't know what the deal is. Why do you think this is?
I think there's concern that, well, like, I think
They
there
don't want to
may
invite more
maybe
scrutiny.
yeah, maybe some concern of just being open about that stuff.
mm,
But which is exactly what you're saying, Joe, is people aren't being open about it. And so
yeah.
what is the concern there? And could be like, oh, well, no one finds this interesting. And this was not a good use of my, it was not a good use of time. Cause I feel like sometimes I've done stuff like that. And then it's like crickets in the audience. And I'm like,
Yeah.
did this resonate with anybody? Did everyone already know this? Like, and
Meg,
like,
I still remember a presentation you gave when
oh,
we worked together. This is probably 10 years ago now, right? Has it been that long? It was
it
like a
has been a
web
while.
analytics presentation. And I remember there was like a picture of like a picnic with ants for some reason, or something that had like a checkered picnic blanket. I don't remember why, but and maybe I'm misremembering, but I definitely remember the presentation and being like,
Aw.
whoa, web analytics, it's a thing. And I'd never used anything like that. And I like honestly, that was like my first exposure to that topic ever.
Mm,
And I've very few places I've worked have even had a very good analytics setup, to be
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
honest with you. Yeah.
Well,
So I
thanks, man.
remember that
Yeah.
stuff.
And maybe we should just be doing more of that. The other thing
Yes.
my other hypothesis, which, or not hypothesis, but like from my experiences, like, I'm just like, I don't want to put a deck together.
Oh, right. That's true. That's true.
You know, but to your point, Joe, like when I like even some of my biggest learning moments now, and especially what I was doing when I was starting out, I just wanted to watch people, like I just wanted to watch people use their tools and stuff, and just like see like what they were clicking on, and what little shortcut keys they were letting, because you take a
Right.
tool like Figma, and there's a bunch of keyboard shortcuts, but like, which ones do you really use, which ones do you really remember and put in your mind? And like, so watching somebody else work, like that
Mhm.
was so that, and that still, to this day, like is one of like the more interesting learning parts of like more learning opportunities of the
Yeah.
job. And I do think that
Yeah.
people are just like kind of hesitant to have somebody kind of like sit over their shoulder and watch. So
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that sentiment because I've had a couple of interns, um, which is crazy. That's a crazy story. I was an intern like a semester before, and then next I got hired full on and I had my own intern. It's crazy. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean it was awesome, but then I think back and I'm like, was that responsible? Like
It's you know why it's good? Because that intern can see themselves. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not like they're sitting next to somebody who's been in the biz for 60 years and they're like,
yeah.
ah, let me tell you, son,
yeah,
you're
Yeah.
just like, yep, I was just an intern too, and now here I am. And they're like, oh my God, thank God, like there's a path
Yeah.
forward. So
Yeah, and I was super casual when I was teaching them. I'm like, I still don't know some of this stuff, but you know what? We've got the power of Google. So we'll just, we're just gonna research together and figure out, something that'll work.
learn how to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
nice,
It's
nice.
important.
Very cool. Joe, to our listeners out there who are having a summer or maybe not having a summer, what parting words of wisdom would you have for them? Anybody who feels like they just don't know how they're going to make it through this next month of summer, what would you say?
Even if it's just for 30 minutes or to an hour, just go outside. Just go
Mm-hmm.
outside, breathe in the
Get
air,
outside.
meditate a little bit. Or, if you've got kids, just take them with you. I mean, the
Yeah.
worst that could happen is that no one has a good time, but at least you're not having a good time doing nothing.
It's a guarantee that no one's going to have a good time. And I think you're right on the money. Just push back that chair, get up, get away from the computer, go outside, breathe in the humidity, get stung by a mosquito.
I can't wait to take my
Oh no.
train on my kid on a train. I
Babies on a train.
I
Babies on a
bet
train.
babies on a train. I think I'm gonna do a shorter trip than all the way to San Diego to just test it out, and I'll let you
Test the
guys know how
waters.
it goes. But I'm super inspired, so thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Babies on
Yeah.
Amtrak. Hey, they ride for free. They ride for free.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Folks, if you need advice or sympathy for your UX career, write to us at survivingux@gmail.com. Hang in there. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Surviving UX is hosted and edited by Jessamyn Edwards and Meg Kramer. Our theme music is, among other things, the on-hold music for Cisco phones. It's called Opus Number 1 by Tim Carlton and Derek Deal. Thank you for listening, and please, please, please loop us in on some hot gossip.